Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F122 Esports video. This is round 10 around Suzuka and we're heading out for our first Q1 run. But before we go into our Q1 run, the standings. As you can see here, we're 22 points behind Lucas Blakely. As I said last episode, I think I said I was 28 points behind, but we're 22 points behind after being 58 behind after Monza. So we made up like 36 points. Pretty solid if you ask me. But of course, still 22 points behind with 3 races to go. It's a lot to make up for, and it's not going to be easy considering historically seeing Suzuka not one of my strongest tracks. We just came off 2 very strong tracks for me, which were USA and Mexico. However, that doesn't always say something. I practiced a lot for Suzuka, to be honest, because I knew that in 2020 in F1 Esports I struggled a little bit around it as well. And the same for Silverstone, so I decided to practice a lot for this round, because I felt like if we manage to get a good result here, then we can carry that momentum into the last 2 races, and we just need a good result anyway, because 22 points behind, we just need to gain as many points as possible, simple as that, and that's what we're going to try and do. Easier said than done though. Suzuka, very hard track, easy to bottom out over a lot of those curbs. So you have to find a good compromise with the setup. And yeah, that's what we've tried to do. And that's why I've spent so much time on this track. But again, that doesn't secure our spot into Q2 as I'm trying to warm up my tires here as we're about to start our first Q1 lap. Of course, as per usual, we're going to try and make it into Q2 on a single set of tires. And then we have 2 new sets of tires for Q3 if we do make it there. But again, Suzuka has a lot of track evolution, I always feel like. So I think a lot of people will have to go out for 2 runs. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. Turn 1, 5th gear. There's so much understeer in turn 1. It's a bit weird. Like you put on the brakes, you expect the center of mass to move forward. And then the front to bite in more the more you trail brake, but however it just doesn't work like that on this game. Usually if you trail brake too much you get more understeer, which is very, very weird driving wise. It's like the opposite of what you expect to happen, and a little bit the same for the throttle. Like you go on throttle and then the car tends to rotate, where you always expect the diff to lock and the center of mass to move backwards, so you get more understeer. But on the lap, it's been not a great lap, but not a bad lap as well. I had a few moments of a lot of understeer, especially in the hairpin. I went a bit deep there as our teammate Jack Benham comes across the line with the fastest lap, 1:28.372. As we go through the long left hand here, back end wants to step out. Bit of a moment there. Might have lost us some time, not sure. But into the final sector now. This is just all straight line speed. Basically the last sector is just who can get the last chicane right and who has the most top speed. Simple as that. Need to try and cut this as much as possible. We haven't really managed to do that. Still a bit of margin there as Marcel Kiefer goes provisional P1. When we come across the line, it's a 28.428, which is not a great lap. Not a bad lap, but we're definitely going to have to go out again because we're P7 now and there's still quite some people to come across the line and finish their lap. So as you can see there, I had to go out again, and actually by the end we were P16. So yeah, we have to get on with it here. And we have to definitely improve by quite a margin. Championship rival Lucas Blakely though, only in P14 as well, so he has to get his lap together as well. Turn 1, again, a lot of understeer. But we've managed to gain like 300 through there, so that's very, very good. And we just need to try and keep gaining time throughout the wall, a bit wide there. We try to find as much time as possible through this first sector. As I said, track evolution plays quite a big part, and we're almost 1/10 up through the first sector, 8.700. So that's very solid. A bit wide through there. But again, 1/10 improvement so far. Gained a few more hundreds, a few more thousands through that section. Hairpin, last time around I messed it up a little bit, went a bit deep. This time around we managed to get more apex speed, a little bit less exit speed, but still 1.3 tenths up, so that's a solid improvement. But I think we need to gain more time, to be honest. I think we have to get into the 0.2s through the long left-hander again. Bit of a moment again, but we had that last time around as well. So 1.8 tenths up going into the final sector. Is it going to be enough though? Compared to Lucas Blakely, we are going to be 1.5 tenths up on him. It says purple middle sector for us, but I very much doubt we went purple. Into the last chicane, fourth gear. Again, missed the apex a little bit as I'm trying to get the power down. And up to the line, it's going to be a 28.238 P5 currently. We are the first to cross the line, to be honest. So still a lot of people to finish the laps. Brendan Lee behind us, that's for sure. Alvaro Carreton as well in P14. So it looks like we're safe at the moment, but you never know, of course. Luke Smith behind us as well, so that's already 3 people behind us. We basically need 5 people behind us to make it into Q2. And we're currently P10, so it's not sure just yet. 4 people behind us right now. Brendan Lee, Joni Tormela, Alvaro Carreton and Luke Smith. However, we P12 now, and people just keep jumping us by a few hundredths of a second. Matthijs van Erven across the line jumps us as well, and now it's all going to come down to Nicolas Longe. And we looked so safe after we finished a lap, but it's just so tight. And we've actually been dropped out of Q1. Last time out, we bumped Danny Berezny out by 1/1000th of a second. This time, he bumps us out by 9/1000th of a second. So, yeah. Didn't expect that after finishing a lap, but it is what it is. You can see it's so close once again. Suzuka is one of the longest tracks on the calendar, and P2 to P18 was within 1.6 tenths. You can even see P1 to our teammate Jake Benham is 1.4 tenths. It's just so crazy that it's so close on such a long track. We're 1.5 tenths off P1, and we are out in Q1 on such a long track. It's so crazy how close it is, how low the skill gap is. That 1.5 tenths is like less than 100th per corner. Anyway, Thomas Horner got pole position out of Nicolas Longe. Patrick Sipos has his best qualifying of the year in P3. Freddy Rasmussen P4, Danny Berezny P5, Lucas Blakely P6, Barry Burman P7. Lucas Blakely not a great quali as well, but of course Thomas Horner on pole, he's also one of our championship rivals. Apologies, there's no sound, by the way. There was just no sound through the recording, so nothing I can do about that anymore. Anyway, onto the race we go. We're going to start on the hard compound of tires in P16. It's lights out and away we go. And I just had so much wheel spin compared to Brendan Lee. And I haven't had great starts all season, to be honest. Into turn 1 we go. Having a little look down the inside. It's just not been a good start. P16 I get hit from behind as well there. And that cost us even more as Brendan Lee has spun out. And now we're back up to P16 again after a horrible start. I think Brendan just lost it on his own under traction. And we're basically back up to P16 again after a very poor start of the line. And now this is also always such a tricky few corners because the pack is going to bunch up always here. And into the next right, and someone spun around. I get hit from behind. Luke Smith spins around. And we're lucky that we did not get spun around. Luke hit us as well from behind. So I think he has front wing damage, which is very unlucky for him. As Marcel Kiefer goes down the inside of Daniela Haddad, I think so that is. As Alvaro Carreton is behind us, so it has to be the other Williams, that's for sure. And now we need to try and see if we can gain another position, maybe into the chicane through slipstream. Not sure. We're on 100% ERS, so we can use quite a bit on this next straight. However, easy said and done. Slipstream is not huge on this game. I could see that Joni was using there a little bit. So I decided that it was not worth it to go for it already. I was maybe looking for something on the start-finish straight. You can see we braked a lot later there into the chicane. And I think that's also been our Achilles heel a little bit, trying to brake later than everyone else always. It just doesn't help with the characteristics of this game. Right, it's just so much understeer that you can't just make the corner with that understeer. So that's what I'm struggling a little bit with, I think, so on this game. Anyway, lap 12, nothing happened in between. It was so boring for all those laps. However, now with people boxing, we can finally start pushing a little bit. Because there's now quite big gaps in between all the cars, so everyone has to catch up to each other, and we can finally stretch our legs a little bit, use some of those, some of the tires, some of the rubber we've saved in the past few laps, and the battery is sitting on 85% as well, so we can use that a little bit as well to catch up to everyone ahead. And that's what we're going to try and do. We're on the alternate strategy, of course, or whatever you can call alternate strategy these days. Everyone is starting on the harder compound these days, and going longer and then going for mediums. So if anything, I think starting on mediums is more of an alternate strategy. However, Brendan Lee has managed to catch back up, by the way. The train was going so slow at some point. I think it was because Danny Bresnay was holding the pack up so Nicolas Longue could pull away, which is a very smart tactic, of course. Yeah, 7.5 tenths behind now. Our teammate Jake Benham in P7, I think he started P14, so he didn't have a much better qualifying than us. I'm actually not sure if it was P14, maybe he started a bit further ahead. However, Joni Tomala is not going to get DRS here. We are, so that's very nice, because then we close in a little bit. Actually, Joni Tomala is boxing. So that's a free position, free DRS as we set our personal best of the race. We're going to try and close in to our teammate Jake Benham. However, we're still in the championship fight, of course. And as you can see here, Jake actually slowed down to give me DRS. So that I gain a little bit more time there. He's going to let us go here. And play the team game, basically. And he's not just going to let us go. He's also going to hold up all the people that have boxed already. Simply because that would help me. If we go longer, we have fresher tires, it'll be easy to catch up, if we have any catching up to do at all, actually. Because the plan is, of course, that Jake holds them up so much, they're going to lose seconds. And you can see there in the top left, Jake is just ahead of Thomas. Thomas is on mediums, new mediums, Jake is on old hards. And the gap is just going to increase because Jake is driving so slow to hold that entire group of cars back, which is the perfect team game. And you know, we can see our tires are actually about to blow up. So we're going to have to box anyway this lap. But you can see, Jake has hauled Thomas up already for 1 entire second. And that's 1 second less we have to catch up after we've boxed. So last year in Brazil, during the F1 Esports final, we obviously had the same issue where Red Bull played those games. Now we are playing those games. In the off-season, we went to the organization and said, you need to do something about this because we don't want to do this, but if it's allowed, we're going to do it. Because it's, you know, you can't penalize this because it's not in the rules. And that's why we're doing it, because it's legal, even though I think it should be banned, personally. But if it's not banned, we're going to have to use it. Simple as that. Dante, the player, hate the game. So yeah, that's why we're doing this. Jake has held up Thomas for like 1.52 seconds, and he's still holding up other people behind him. We're going to box at the end of this lap for a new set of mediums. I thought we were going to box last lap, actually, but I wanted as fresh tires as possible, as I felt like I wasn't going to undercut by many more people anyway, because we were so far behind in the train anyway, that we might as well just keep going and box this lap for a new set of mediums. Tires are absolutely done for. One more lap and I think they would have blown up. So into the box we go for a new set of mediums, and they will easily make it to the end from here on. However, we are going to have the tire advantages. Nicolas Longue in the right comes past us. Then it's Thomas Ronhaar, Sebastian Diop is behind me, sorry. Freddie Rasmussen, Lucas Blakely in P4. And realistically, we're not really fighting for top 5, I think so here. However, I think P6 might still be possible. Coming out onto this wreck now. Jake is still holding people up, by the way. He's still holding people up and helping us. We've come out 3.5 seconds behind Brendan. We're still stuck in that train, and that's why I went long. You know, there's no point boxing in the same lap as these guys and then coming out in the exact same position. Sometimes it actually does work, but I just felt like we need to gain points to Lucas. We might as well take the risk. You know, this is going out in Q1, being 22 points behind in the championship. We have to play it a little bit desperate, because we are 22 points behind. We need to gain points, because if Lucas gains 12 points on us this race, then he's like, what, 34 points ahead? There's not really a coming back from that. Unless we have got it like the last 2 rounds. There's 2 people spawn off actually here. It's an Alpine, no, it's actually a Williams and an Aston, I think so. An AlphaTauri, I'm not sure. However, it's good for us, 2 positions gained. So I'm trying to get some DRS from Danny Bresnay ahead. Easier said than done. I think he used a little bit of battery as well to make sure we're not going to get DRS here. And I didn't want to use my ERS very inefficiently. So 9/10 behind now. Our teammate finally boxes, as he has played this perfectly, because he dives into the box now the second we have caught up to this entire group, which is exactly what we needed. We needed just a tire advantage and then be behind them. So up to P12 we go. There've been a lot of incidents this race, not gonna lie. Because yeah, we're P12 after basically not doing anything this race. We've just stayed out of trouble, boxed, laid on for a new set of mediums. Anyway, Danny Bresnay now, up ahead on the old hards. We've got fresh mediums on, and we're going to try and get past into turn 1 with the help of traction. I feel like the traction advantage wasn't that big. Just a bit weird. I feel like the tire advantage wasn't that big in general anyway. You can see we only did a 30.9. Compared to the 31.0 we did on old hards, completely worn hards. So I think that's also one of the little reasons why the races were not as interesting as the past few years, is because when you bolt on a new set of tires, you expect to properly gain time and not go half a second faster or a second. I mean, in real life they also gain sometimes 2-3 seconds after bolting on a new set of tires, depending per track of course. But yeah, now we're going to try and get past Simon, who I think was trying to let us go, but I just didn't really expect it, so I almost drove into the back of him. But yeah, I think what Simon wanted is that I was going to attack Fabrizio and that he maybe could sneak through. I think Simon, in the past few laps, tried getting past Fabrizio as well. Just couldn't, because it's just so hard to overtake, even with the tire advantage that we have. It's so hard. So in the next few laps, we're going to try and overtake the Ferrari of Fabrizio Donojo. You can see there. Marcel Kiefer P7, and then there's a Haas in P6. I think that's Matthijs van Erben. And now lap 23, we're going to try and turn on the overtake button, get some slipstream into the chicane. However, slipstream isn't doing a lot, so we're not really gaining. You can see we're 1.6 tenths behind, 1.5. And we're not really closing in that much. Can't really go for a move there. If I send it, we might be at risk of hitting Brandon, of course. So that's such a tough situation to be in. We can't really send it. However, you can see there Fabrizio is flashing, and now we are going to tuck into the slipstream and try to make a move. However, we just can't get past, even with the slipstream and the ERS. Of course, Fab is getting slipstream from Brandon ahead, but I felt like we were closer, so would have been nice if we gained a little bit. Next lap though, we're going to try it once again. Fabrizio is flashing into the chicane, which means he is low on battery and doesn't have that 160 horsepower that we have right now, because we've turned on the overtake button with the slipstream, DRS open, slipstream as well, and we're going to go around the outside in turn 1, and I'm going to try and stick it all the way around the outside. We are side by side on turn in into the next left-hander. We're going to try and stick it on the inside, but we've been spun around, and that is championship hopes over. Which is a shame, because, after such a charge, after Monza, there was still a lot of hope that the chance was still there. But, yeah, I think it was a bit of a desperate move, which obviously we needed, because you can't have another race of losing 12, 15 points to Lucas, as I said before. We got disqualified, actually, which it isn't an actual disqualification, just the in-game one. It doesn't count as a disqualification on the results. So, yeah, that's it. Championship over. Honestly, by the rules, it was Fabrizio's fault, but realistically, I feel like I should have just not been there. At the same time, I'm fine that we at least tried, if I would have just stuck behind the rest of the race, that would have not gotten us anywhere anyway. So I'm happy I tried, but it was just not enough. Simple as that. We were just too slow in quali all year. There's still 2 races to go, of course, but mathematically we're still in it. However, we were just not fast enough in qualifying once again in this event. I practiced so much around Suzuka, and yet we were off the pace. So that also doesn't really give a lot of hope for the next 2 rounds. Just need to accept that I wasn't good enough this year, whether the game suited me or not. is a little bit of an excuse as well, of course, because, you know, even though if it did not suit me, I should have just been on the pace, simple as that. Should have been adapted better, should have found out about FPS tricks earlier, should have figured out setups better earlier on, so on. Should have just done better, simple as that. We're going to try again next year. We still have 2 races to go, of course. We're going to try and finish it off on a high. We're still fighting for other positions in the championship. So, on to the next round.